We finally got some more JJ Redick news, this time coming from the Toronto Raptors, who actually looks like they have potential trade interest as reported by Andy Bailey. It officially says the Raptors are a potential trade destination for JJ Redick if the New Orleans Pelicans were to move him, per Andy Bailey. Now, in my opinion, I'm kind of sick of hearing these JJ Redick trade moves at the moment, and because you feel like if New Orleans Pelicans didn't want to sign him, then they wouldn't have. And if you feel like if JJ Redick if he wanted to play for New Orleans, he obviously signed with them, and if he didn't want to play with New Orleans, he wouldn't have signed with them. So I don't know why everyone's talking about all these trade rumors at the moment and all of this stuff. I mean, it would be cool to see him play on a contending team, as I don't think the New Orleans Pelicans are going to make the playoffs, obviously, this year, and it will probably be his first year that he does actually miss the playoffs. But I just don't think they will be trading him until potentially maybe the trade deadline, where they would maybe even consider. I mean, it obviously, as I was saying, would be cool to see him getting traded to a contending team, and obviously the Raptors would be a really cool team to see him getting traded to, because it looks like the Raptors will actually make a pretty big statement, I feel like, when it does come to the playoffs in the East this year. Who knows, potentially it could be the Raptors in the finals again, with some people even saying they believe it could be a Raptors Clippers or Raptors Lakers, etc. I potentially really don't know what is going to happen when it does come to this stuff, and obviously getting JJ Redick would extremely help out quite a bit. I mean, the Raptors are currently 12-4. They sit on 4th in the East right now. They're probably going to be one of the best teams when it does come to the playoffs, obviously, and will most likely make some trade moves when it does come to the deadline. I just don't know, and if I can really see New Orleans Pelicans, trading JJ Redick and all this stuff. It's the same as I can't see them trading Drew Holiday. Again, both of these things might happen. I just can't see it getting done for obvious reasons, such as a lot of people, I feel like some people think that NBA 2K20 is like exactly like how the NBA is in real life. If you're doing a My League, you get a bunch of young players together and they're going to be absolute stars and all that type of stuff. In the NBA, that really doesn't ever happen, to be honest. You do need some role players to play with the young players, because those young players aren't going to develop if they don't have some experience and, some coaching from players who are actually on their team and all that stuff. That's why I think, Drew Holiday is perfect for the New Orleans Pelicans, as he can help out these younger players, such as, Jackson Hayes and Zion Williamson, who be able to get pretty good assists from him. If they just had a regular point guard that couldn't really play make, then they're not going to be exactly getting much help. They're not going to be improving like they could have actually done, and it might stunt the start of their career and how their career actually heads. Rather, if you get them a good playmaker already, these bigger players will already be, ready and know what it's like to get some good service from very good, obviously, passing players. And that's just what I potentially feel like. And that could also help out with JJ Redick. If you think about it, just having, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, all those two players. Let's just say, Brandon Ingram, I'd say, is a pretty decent player. Lonzo Ball's a pretty decent passer, I would potentially say. You would think that them, if they get in some trouble with what they're potentially doing, whether that's running a play or something like that, they just having an expert like JJ Redick right there for them, they can kick it out to JJ Redick, he can make a three very easily, and they get an assist for that, and then they'll potentially know where players are and where to obviously pass it to them, and that will be very good experience from when it comes down the line on when they get, potentially younger players who could fulfill the JJ Redick decision, and they could obviously make it easier as well for those younger players to get potentially into those passing areas, and yeah, the passes would just obviously be a lot better for them. Not just that, JJ Redick's extremely experienced and will help not just on the court, but off the court, whether a player is dealing with something mentally or whatever it's going to be. JJ Redick would most likely be able to help for that, and they're obviously paying him pretty decent money. JJ Redick would know that when he did sign from the team, they're not going to be a contender straight away. I mean, Zion hasn't even played a game so far. A couple of their players are really developing. There's a lot of really, negotiations and stuff going around with Lonzo Ball. Is he the right player for the team? The team doesn't really have a center with, Derek Favors being injured quite a bit of the time and is actually usually being known as a power forward in most parts of his career, is playing sort of a different role on the team. And if you look at their, like, best rebounders, there's pretty much no centers there or anything. There's Josh Hart on 7, Brandon Ingram on 7. They don't even have a center either. It's just very interesting, and I think JJ Redick knew they weren't exactly going to be very good at the moment. Obviously, Jackson Hayes will develop. They'll most likely draft another center in this draft if they do obviously get the opportunity to, or they'll potentially maybe even sign another center. Like Andre Drummond's going to be hitting the free agency market. It's just, there's a lot of very interesting things that are going on with the New Orleans Pelicans at the moment, and I think JJ Redick might want to be a part of that. Obviously, if they do trade him, I feel like it would 100% be for another veteran. Like, if I do take a look at the Toronto Raptors list, there are quite a bit of veterans, obviously, on this team, as most of you guys do know, such as Marc Gasol, who would fulfill the center position, as they don't really have a center. Serge Ibaka would be very good as well, but he is obviously playing sort of a six-man role and all of that type of stuff, and I don't really think they're going to be trading him at all. But Marc Gasol, who's not really having a good season at all, could potentially be getting traded, potentially maybe even to New Orleans Pelicans if they really like him, or maybe Toronto Raptors don't want to trade him and they like, what he brings to the table. I think that if they were going to have to do a trade, it wouldn't just be maybe even picks or maybe as simple as everyone thinks it could be. I potentially think they would have to include maybe even a veteran type of player or a player who has been there and, done that and all that type of stuff. I just think that JJ Redick is a pretty valuable asset for what a lot of people give him credit for, and the fact that the New Orleans Pelicans, who haven't been known as a big destination team, were able to really sign him on a pretty decent deal, and I believe he's not even playing bad or anything this season to really get himself traded or anything like that. He's actually averaging 15 points a game this season, and yeah, I just think he's been doing very good, obviously. It may not be as many points as last year, but he is on less minutes per game, and yeah, obviously, I just think he's a pretty decent player, and I'm kind of getting a little bit sick of these trade news and rumors because I just don't feel like they're going to do it. But at the same time, there is every chance they're going to do it. Again, this is the NBA. It is a business at this point, and they could trade. Literally, so many teams trade away so many players all the time. But yeah, anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for the latest NBA and sports content. Don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/vlog channels. Links for them are in the description down below. I recently just made a new vlog, so go check it out. And don't forget to obviously comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on the JJ Redick situation? Do you guys think you'll get traded to Toronto? I'll definitely really like to know your thoughts and opinions down below. So make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.